We're doing our thing here on Memorial Day 2015. That's May 25th, 2015. All new RCWR Show. Your host right here. Pleased to meet you. Nice to know me, the one and only the Black Avenger, a.k.a. the Black Azrael, Lee Sanders. Thank you so much for checking us out as we are covering WWE Raw Fallout with review/reactions. Want to get you guys involved. So if you watched Raw tonight, post those comments down below. Love to hear from you. You can also hit us up on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Hit us up on Facebook as well, Infinity One Productions. With an E, spell out one, Infinity One Productions. All right, it is the final episode of WWE Raw. Which, by the way, for those of you that might be looking for actual WWE Raw footage, you can find maybe little clips, highlights of what all you missed on the WWE Fan Nation channel here on YouTube. And if you still can't find what you're looking for, head on over to WWE's website. You might have better luck over there. You know, right before we had came on the air, there was literally a really good question that came in, like literally before I got ready to fire it up. And I got to read it to you guys. And this definitely is a special shout out to our good fans / friends over in the UK. Eugene, he sent us a tweet saying, the RCWR Show, I watch your review shows each week from London. Can you find out if Elimination Chamber is only for United States or worldwide? And I answered Eugene's question already, but to those of you that are in the UK and you have this same question, I can't stress it enough. Unfortunately, the Elimination Chamber event is only going to be shown on the WWE network exclusively for those living in the United States. So I would imagine that once the event is done and you've signed up for the network and you live in Africa, Ireland, Australia, or whatever, I would imagine that it would be available after the live event has concluded. But again, as far as it being live on the WWE network, North America will be able to see it. All right. So fingers crossed that the way I'm kind of thinking is how they'll set it up. And I think it's a smart move. They probably just want to, you know, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about why would they do something like this? And really the only thing that kind of makes sense to me, quite honestly, maybe this is WWE's own way of, even though they didn't put this out there out in the open, which really would have gave them a little bit of good PR to a certain extent, is maybe they're just trying to give back to those that have signed up for the network like day one of launch in North America. That's really the only thing that kind of makes sense to me right now. I'm sure as more time that progresses, we'll probably learn a little bit more on why WWE decided to operate this way. But I feel for you guys overseas that you're not going to be able to check this out live on the network and you've already signed up for it. And it's kind of like you're getting shafted a little bit. Trust me, I feel exactly where you guys are coming from. But at the same time, it should definitely make you appreciate shows like ours even more, because we are going to be coming on live Sunday here on YouTube. I think we're also going to try to do the simulcast again on Spreaker as well to talk about Elimination Chamber Fallout. You'll be able to join us this Sunday night. Should be 10:50 p.m. Eastern, or immediately after the pay-per-view concludes. Hop on YouTube here. You can also hop on Spreaker. All the links you need is in the episode description. We got you guys hooked up, all right? Again, that's Sunday, May 31st, 10:50 p.m. Eastern, all right? Make sure you join us for that. And quick shout out. I got to get this shout out out in the open before we go any further into the show. I got to give a mad shout out to our good friends over at WrestlingInc.com. They have featured little snippets / highlights of our conversation that we had with former WWE superstar JTG of Crime Time. I've been receiving private messages and emails from people that went out of their way to check out the interview, and they wanted to make sure that I knew their position as far as whether or not they enjoyed the interview or not. A lot of people have been showing love. If you haven't checked it out, over the weekend, we quietly released it on our YouTube channel. So when you get done with this, go check it out when you guys get a chance, all right? How about the way that Raw had ended tonight? I mean, it just felt so, I've seen so much over the years when it comes to wrestling, especially from the WWE. And I mean, typically when you're trying to get a guy over, you're looking at a guy in the WWE and you're like, this person has a lot of potential to be like a top star. Man, let's see what happens when they get put in key story arcs or whatever. You're excited because you can't wait to see what's going to happen with them. And it just seems like in some shape or form, all the guys that would eventually go on to become champion in some shape or form, they have been involved in that one segment where they're arrested and you don't know what's going on with them. Ooh, will they make it back to the arena in time, or are they going to remain in jail and they're trying to figure out how they're going to be able to post bond? What possibly is going to happen? It's a recycled move that we've seen so many times over the years. That's not what I'm homing in on. That's not a problem for me. What I care more about is when you see this storyline go down, is it going to do the segment justice, that you're seeing play out? Is that energy from the fans going to be there? That's just going to be so invested, and it's going to make the segment just come off really badass and all that. And I got to say, with the Dean Ambrose thing, seeing him come out of the police van, he's driving it to the front, and he's got the police hat and the nice stick and the coat on and everything. It was kind of like, yeah, all right. Now, look, I know we got some hardcore Dean Ambrose fans. Look, I'm not crapping on Dean Ambrose. Big fan of him. Big fan of him. But what I saw with that segment right there, that final segment, in setting up the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, honestly, I could have done without it. I could have done without that segment because it just felt so forced. I mean, if you go back, those of you that watch Raw tonight, you go back, listen to the crowd reaction towards the end. I mean, they were expecting it, and I don't know, but at least in my ears, I don't know, maybe they were messing around with the sound switchboards and they were trying to pump in the crowd reactions or whatever. But for me, I swear, what I heard on my TV, didn't really hear that many fans that were live there at the Nassau Coliseum really be into that moment. I think everything else involving Dean Ambrose leading up to him being arrested, they were into, but I don't think that segment really played out the way that it was supposed to, quite honestly. Those of you that missed it, basically we had got like a 15-minute long promo to open up Raw with the Authority. Seth Rollins, they basically had said, hey, Dean Ambrose, you want your match? You can have it. Come on out, sign this contract. Dean Ambrose would come out. He was trying to sign the contract, but then there was a little bit of a scuffle that went down, and it led to the Authority setting up a impromptu tag match, which had saw Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns did come out in that opening segment. He tried to help Dean out, but we saw those two team up to take on the team of Seth Rollins and the Big Red Monster, Kane, of which we had saw the birthday boy. Happy birthday to Roman Reigns. You still got time right now if you're on the East Coast to send Roman Reigns some happy birthday wishes. How badass is that? It's his birthday, and he got to perform one more time with the WWE at the Nassau Coliseum, as it is going to be shut down. It's going to be demolished. I don't even know if they're going to be rebuilding yet. I got to do a little bit of history slash research on that one, find out what's going on with that. But, afterwards, after they won their match and everything, the baby faces, we saw a backstage segment where J&J Security, they kind of, I guess you could say they kind of set up Dean Ambrose, if you will. And there was a little bit of a brawl that went down. Dean Ambrose knocked into a cameraman, but we would later find out that actually Seth Rollins pushed that cameraman into Dean Ambrose. This pretty much had set up a segment where we had saw the police along with that cameraman that got knocked on his ass approach Dean Ambrose, and the man said, yeah, he was the one that bumped into me, but he sounded like he was getting ready to say something else. Seth Rollins told him to zip it. We see Dean Ambrose get arrested from there. And, you know, for me, just thinking from the writing standpoint, I was kind of looking at all this and I was kind of saying to myself, well, maybe Raw is going to go off in a way where Dean Ambrose is screwed out of his opportunity to take on Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view. So then it kind of leaves that burning question, well, what exactly is going to be going on with Seth Rollins at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? Is he going to be defending his title or what? That would have been a really good cliffhanger, because for me, bad enough, I really don't watch SmackDown. And when I do, I find myself fast forwarding through all the stuff that they show me 3, 4, 5 times on Raw or Main Event or whatever. I basically fast forward to only watch 3 good matches, maybe out of 4 or maybe out of 5 matches, right? You guys out there that watch SmackDown, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for me, just the fact that SmackDown's on a new night, it's live, it's like, oh, well, this makes all the sense in the world that, you know, they're going to do a little bit of a cliffhanger and have it be resolved going into SmackDown. All right, fine. No, we didn't get that. Instead, we got this lame ass, you know, I call it the Stone Cold segment, but I'm sure many of you guys can go even further back than Stone Cold. But for me, in my eyes, Stone Cold, when he got arrested and all that, you know, that was just really, oh man, can't believe this. Vince McMahon did what to Stone Cold? I mean, it was the talk at school, it was the talk at the water coolers, it was the talk on the blocks, you know, everybody that was in the wrestling back then. Yeah, Vince McMahon had got Stone Cold arrested, and Austin came back later on in the night, got his revenge, he hopped on a beer truck, all this other silly stuff, you know. Very weird segment, the way that had played out. Very weird. And then seeing Renee Young trying to squeeze in interview time with the Authority and ask them exactly what all had went down, and you're kind of like, okay, so this is the part where we're supposed to pretend that Renee Young and Dean Ambrose, they're not a couple, right? Yet I'm reminded of a few interviews that Renee Young has given within the past 2 weeks talking about what it's like to date Dean Ambrose. And yet there's no way we can just go on ahead and kind of bring that on over into main WWE programming. I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of like, okay, we got this fine, thin line where, okay, the WWE talent are not supposed to talk about these things outside of the company, yet you have these scenarios where certain things are brought up, and it's like, why not have it kind of carry over into the show? I don't know, just my wishful thinking, but I'm just thinking from a creative standpoint, it would have made all the sense in the world for a very concerned Renee Young to say to the Authority, you know, what exactly is going on? Why did you do that to Dean Ambrose? You know, have a little bit of spine, have a little bit of a backbone of a concerned girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of overanalyzing that a little bit. Those of you that might have missed it, I want to go back to the Nassau Coliseum one more time. And in case you might not be aware, Vince McMahon did address the fans there at the Coliseum tonight. It's about 1:27 long. I just want to play it for you guys. And, you know, I'm just going to shut up and let the audio play. And hopefully you guys can hear this pretty well. Okay, let's do this for you guys here. Give me a second. Okay, here you go, guys. guys can hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of WWE, Mr. McMahon.
It looks good, by the way. If you guys are curious, check it out on WWE.com's website.
They say that all good things must end. Unfortunately, as you know, the Coliseum is closing its doors. This will be our last WWE event ever here in the Coliseum. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank every superstar who ever performed in that ring. I'd like to thank each and every one of you from Long Island who ever attended a WWE event. And especially would like to thank you here tonight. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the good times. And I'll guarantee you tonight, it'll be a good one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know about tonight. Tonight wasn't really a that good of a show, quite honestly. And I won't bore you guys that just want to hear to talk about Raw tonight with the history of the Nassau Coliseum. But what I will say is that the WWE, they've had a long history with the Nassau Coliseum. It was originally built in 1972, and WWE, they were constantly going through there and that part of the woods back when they were the WWF, Worldwide Wrestling Federation, as multiple times it would be Bruno Sammartino that would be coming to the Coliseum to defend the title. Just give you guys a little bit of a brief recap, but I'll dive more into the historic talk of the Nassau Coliseum on our Tuesday night podcast. But, you know, that was kind of nice that they had Vince McMahon do that and everything. Of course, also, since they were out there in those part of the woods, they were out in, you know, Long Island. We also saw Entourage, as you all know, that, or maybe y'all don't know. It's okay if you don't know. Really, it is okay. Those guys, apparently there was like some TV series on HBO called Entourage, and it lasted about 5, 6, 7 seasons or whatever. Now there's a movie that's getting ready to come out. A lot of people fear that the movie is gonna bomb, and it's gonna bomb big time. I think it's a little bit too soon to rush for judgment on that one. You know, let's not kick a movie before it comes out. I mean, sheesh, you know, but it was so funny. I put a tweet out and I basically said, I said something along the lines of Entourage. Never watched it on Showtime. Won't start now. But as Mark Wahlberg says it best, hey, tell your mother I say hello. And I had some smart ass come back at me. Well, you should at least know what network it comes on before you criticize it. It comes on HBO. And I just looked at that and I'm like, ooh, damn, feisty. So I put the correct information out there. I apologized and everything. And I said, correction, Entourage, never watched it on HBO. Don't plan on. And as Mark Wahlberg would say, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, tell your mother I say hello, okay? How you doing? Hey, this always cracks my girl up. Hey, how you doing? I'm Mark Wahlberg. How you doing? Yeah, you doing pretty good? You doing okay today? Yeah, what you doing in school today? Uh-huh. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, listen, tell your mother I say hello, okay? I love Mark Wahlberg. I love picking on that man. Let's get back to the talk of Raw, though. Entourage, the cast, they were there. I really could have cared less about the Entourage cast. The only thing that I was remotely interested in, and I kind of saw it a mile away, I was just wondering exactly how it was going to play out. They were involved in a segment with Zack Ryder. and it turned out it would be Zack Ryder getting a little bit of encouragement by the Entourage cast to challenge John Cena for the United States Championship. And that was actually a decent match. I love the fact that the commentators they put over the history that Cena and Ryder have together, they're best friends and all that. We actually saw one or two of the Entourage cast members try to get involved, and they tried to cheat John Cena out of the U.S. title, but they didn't follow it through. They were a little bit too intimidated by John Cena. But by the way, I got to give a shout out to the beautiful and the lovely Miss Baby Dow, Missy Hyatt. She put a very good comment or two out there on Twitter. There's a lot of you guys that put some good stuff out there tonight, but in particular, you guys were very critical of the 15-20 minute segment promo that kicked off Raw, and then you had Cena come out, and he was, my God, I never thought he would stop talking. Quite honestly, it really felt like he was going out there and he was just killing some time. You know, when you go to a comedy club and before the main attraction comes out, you got to deal with somebody you hope is going to be funny, that's setting up the main attraction of the night, who you're coughing up your money to go see. You can only hope that the setup for that main attraction is going to be funny, but have mercy if they suck. If they suck, you're like just counting down the seconds, the minutes until this person gets off the stage. And, you know, it's like, okay, I'm ready to have a real good hearty laugh now that this jabroni's gone off the stage. And, a lot of, I got to admit, I was feeling the same way when it came to Cena cutting the promo he was cutting tonight. I'm like, and then I kind of thought about it a little bit more. I said, damn, how badass would it be if Samoa Joe comes out, faces John Cena for the title, makes that SOB tap out, becomes the new U.S. champion in the process. I know, I hear you guys. Lee, dream on. That's not happening, or at least not yet. You know, even though we saw Zack Ryder lose to John Cena, once again, we saw Kevin Owens. Love that Kevin Owens. We saw him destroy the hell out of John Cena once again, powerbombed him and everything, disgraced the United States title by stepping all. Oh, I'm so ready to see these guys get it on. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, as far as my match predictions go, who am I looking at for that particular match? We'll actually go over match prediction picks on this Tuesday's podcast, so make sure you join us for that one. Great segment right there. I mean, you know what, contrary to how some people may feel with regards to Kevin Owens, and I know Vince Russo was very critical in his thoughts on Kevin Owens, which we talked about on the RCWR Show Extra here on YouTube. You know what, I love the way that WWE has been booking Kevin Owens. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I mean, he is being booked like he is a freaking beast. I love it right now. They are doing this man justice right now. And to have him just be, boom, right there, facing a veteran in John Cena. And I got to admit, like, I've just been impressed with this young man. I mean, he has just been given these great opportunities to shine, and he has not choked. And I'm telling you, if there was ever a time to check out the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, for those of you in North America, any time to check out a pay-per-view, this is the one to check out. I think we're going to get us a really great and solid matchup, and I'm sure many people are hoping that the way this match will end, you know, maybe either both guys will still walk out with their belts, or if a winner's going to take all, maybe it's going to be Kevin Owens. I tell you what, I like the idea of a Kevin Owens walking away with both belts. And I've been saying it for the longest. If you are going to take those belts, if you're going to take the United States title off of John Cena, put it on an up-and-coming guy. in particular, put it on an up-and-coming guy from NXT. And I don't know, man, Kevin Owens might be the man. He just might be the man. Rusev, so he is no longer representing Mother Russia. He has gone back to his home country, and he was pushing, what colors was he pushing tonight? He was pushing what, guys? Green, white, and red. I think he was pushing tonight. I don't know why, but like for some reason when I was looking at his colors tonight, it made me think about this great restaurant that's down the street from where I live. It's called Pisano's. And they do Italian subs, pizzas, all this cool stuff. And the color scheme of what he was wearing tonight, I don't know, just the way it was shaped and everything, it literally just made me think of Pisano's. And I just felt like calling him up and telling him how I wanted a nice, big old New York sliced pizza, couple of cannolis, you know, get some extra blue cheese, maybe some wings or whatever. I just felt like calling them up. I'm kidding. No, seriously. We saw Rusev come out. He was trying to get Lana back. Baby, come back. Can't you see you belong to me? I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. A little bit of who sings that? Player? I think that's Player. Yeah. Rusev coming out, begging. He was, can I say that on the air? I was going to say whipped. Maybe I should say kitty whipped. There we go. He was kitty whipped. Wanted Lana to come on back and work things out with him. She would come out. Rusev told her, look, we've been through a lot, you and I. And you know, we just had a misunderstanding. Let's just let bygones be bygones. Please give me another chance. Lana was pretty receptive to that. Looked as though these two were getting ready to reunite until Rusev said, hey, now I just need you to say 3 magical words. And I love how the crowd got on top of that. That joint said, New Day sucks. But no, that's not what he wanted her to say. He wanted for Lana to say she was wrong. And Lana said, no, I'm not wrong, and you're a liar. You did say I quit. And she told him that, yeah, Player, baby, come back. I got it right. And she told him that they were done. She wants nothing else to do with him. And I kind of like how the past couple of weeks, the longer Lana keeps talking, kind of sounds like the more and more her accent is kind of fading away just a little bit. I love when she first came out, though. She came out and she says to Rusev, I came. No. You asked me to come. I came. I'm waiting. And it's kind of like, damn. I hope that's not how she talks in the bedroom. Because talk about where's my motivation here? Work with me, sweetie. Damn, you know. As you know, what is it? Rusev and Dolph Ziggler, they're going to be having a match at the Elimination Chamber event, and that should be a solid matchup. I'm actually looking forward to that match. I think that's going to be a very fresh, very interesting. I think that's going to be a damn good match, quite honestly. Other honorable mentions for matches tonight. Rusev, he defeated King Barrett. Neville defeated Stardust. Sheamus, he defeated Dolph Ziggler. There was a rematch, but we saw Rusev interfere in that match. And let me see. I'm trying to think what happened after that. Trying to think, guys. Give me a second. I remember Rusev. Yeah, post-match, Rusev beat the holy crap out of Ziggler. Put him in a camel clutch. As Lana looked on just like, oh my God, what is going on? You know, I have an interesting theory for what I think may end up happening to the Lana character, because I just have the strangest feeling, and I know it's going to be a disappointment to a lot of people, but I have the strangest feeling that they are gonna make Lana go away for a hot minute, and then she comes back repackaged as a totally different character. And I'm all fine for that, but I think I might have a very interesting way they can have the Lana character go off TV so that they can try to introduce a new character. But you know what? It needs to happen. I know a lot of you guys are like, no, what about Rusev? Honestly, he's been kind of handling himself pretty good the past couple of weeks, that he's been kind of like separated from Lana. I was really concerned about whether or not he'd be able to hold his own well without her, and I think he's been doing fairly well. Now, one could make the argument that, well, wait a minute, he's still involved with Lana, even though he might not be beside her. He's still involved in a key storyline that involves her. And to that, I say that's very true, and that we won't really know what he's capable of until he breaks away from the Lana character. But I just have these little small hints, little indications right now from what I've been seeing that he's actually going to be okay. With regards to Lana, the actress that plays Lana, WWE would be fools to not try to see what they can do with her as potentially a top diva. Apparently, she is trained in MMA or whatever. I know there was a couple of pictures that was floating around past couple of weekends. She was doing some kickboxing and all that. She's got some serious reach. My God, there was one picture I saw where she was looking at the punching bag, the duffel bag, and she did like a great standing kick, and she's got some serious reach, man. Serious reach. I don't know. She might do very well as a singles diva competitor. I mean, only time will tell. See other matches we saw tonight. Tamina, she defeated Paige. New Day, they were able to escape a 10-on-3 handicap match. Pretty much all the participants that they're going to be taking on at the Elimination Chamber match for the tag titles this weekend, they pretty much have faced in a handicap match. This was courtesy of Kane. Kane was trying to figure out a way to stick it to the New Day stable, but New Day, they actually won via countout of all the ways to win. I know a lot of people probably thought they were going to get their butts handed to them tonight. You might have to wait a little while longer to see exactly how that's going to play out. See, other than that, I mean, when I think about Raw overall tonight, and I probably like blazed through all the results real quickly here because I see we're only at the like 45-minute mark. So I think at this point we've probably been on for about maybe close to 40 minutes, which is pretty good. Overall tonight, I mean, it kind of seemed like they tried to focus more on the wrestling, and I mean, you can't really expect that much when it comes to these type of episodes, especially when it hits on a holiday and most families are out. They might be enjoying fireworks or just enjoying the nice weather. They're getting their eat on and everything, and I definitely got my eat on. I have no shame. I was hitting right back. Feed me more. Had the potato salad, had the chips, had the hamburgers, had the sodas, the iced tea. I was, the fun part now is taking out the trash and getting ready for recycle day. That's the fun part. But there really wasn't that much to really sink your teeth into with tonight's Raw. It a lot of points it felt very dragging. As far as like quality matches go, like matches that was like, hey, I will kind of give an honorable mention to Cena versus Zack Ryder, but for me, I don't know how it might be for you guys. For me, that kind of has more sentimental value because I've always been a fan of Zack Ryder. And anytime I get to see him on TV, it's I just mark out because I like the guy, and I appreciate the fact that at one point, here's a guy who's frustrated that WWE wasn't trying to give him the opportunity to prove to them that, hey, if they make the investment in him, they won't regret it. And he just took faith, or rather, he took control of his own faith, his own destiny, and he went outside of the WWE and figured out ways to get himself over. And eventually, it got him his 15 minutes of fame. And I thought he did fairly well with that 15 minutes of fame. And I would love it if WWE would one day give him that opportunity again, and don't be so quick to take it away from him, because I think he proved outside of the WWE that he could build a following. But WWE, what can you say? If they aren't the ones that orchestrated it all, created the character, created the catchphrase, created the chants and all that. That's the old saying. I'm not going to even finish that. Y'all should be able to connect the dots right there. But, Dean Ambrose, going back to Dean Ambrose, here's the problem I'm having with Dean Ambrose right now. And in particular, here's the problem I'm having with Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Now, other than the die-hard wrestling fan, that's going to be like, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, that match is going to freaking kick ass. How many of you all out there are actually excited for this main event? How many of you all are actually going to go out of your way to watch Elimination Chamber for this main event match? And you can be perfectly honest. If you say to me, hey, Lee, to be honest, I'm not that excited. I really could care less about this. It feels like it's going to be an episode of Raw. I would rather watch the highlights and hear your review, or check out what the various wrestling websites had to say about the event, about that main event match. But I'm going to skip it. If that's you, I want to know. Because I think we are into some growing pains right now. For the WWE, we are in one interesting transition period right now, to the point that, is Seth Rollins even safe as the WWE champion? Because the way it's looking for this guy right now, great in-ring technician and all that, great in-ring ability, he's coming around as a heel. He's getting more comfortable on the microphone, way less screw-ups on the mic. But something about him, WWE champion, it's not computing. It doesn't compute. It's I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I need to see that moment for Seth Rollins where, like, those of you that remember Edge, I hate to go back to Edge, but I think he's a good example. Remember looking at Edge from the Brood days? Now, let's be for real. None of us looked at him at that point and said, you know what, gosh darn it, that guy Edge, that's going to be a WWE champion one day. Hell, that's going to be a multi-time WWE champion one day. I highly doubt anybody was thinking that. I sure as hell wasn't thinking that. Me and my friends, I sure as hell was not thinking that. All right? But, there came that moment there where I think for me, the defining moment was when Edge was involved in that storyline with Matt Hardy, Lita. I think that right there is what really just made things just explode in a way where you looked at him in a different light. And he was just able to just build great momentum off of that, to the point that when he became Money in the Bank winner, and remember when he cashed it in, what was the name of the pay-per-view, guys? New Year's Revolution, was it, that he cashed it in? I might have the name of the pay-per-view wrong, but I do remember he cashed it in on John Cena after Cena successfully defended the title. McMahon came out and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He announced to the fans that Edge wanted to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, right on up to that point, and then even after when Edge cashed it, I mean, boom. And with Seth is like, he's not even at the edge of the cliff looking down and is about to jump. He's not even at that point yet, right? Seth is like on the tour bus that just got a flat tire on the side of the road, and Seth decides he wants to go take a leak, and he's about 20 minutes away from that cliff that has that tipping point. He's nowhere near that cliff yet. And I don't know. I'm really concerned about that. I'm really, really concerned about that, to the point that I wouldn't be surprised if at this Sunday's Elimination Chamber event, they did a switcheroo and they tried to put the title on Dean Ambrose. Would I want to see that happen? I must admit it'd be a change of pace, but I don't know, man. Something with Seth Rollins is just not clicking. He's not full circle yet. And trust me on this, when he's able to put it all together, I definitely feel that he can match the success that Edge had, but I dare say I think that he just might be able to surpass that, especially if he stays healthy. That's the main thing. Let's get to you guys' comments. Let's see what you all have to say about tonight's Raw. See what we got here. I don't know what's going on. YouTube's been acting a little bit funny. I'm looking at comments that date back to 3 weeks ago. I don't know what's going on with that. YouTube, fix your stuff, man. Fix your stuff. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, Rusev wasn't Rusev in a match against damn. Didn't we see a cameo from R-Truth tonight? I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit off tonight. Yeah, we saw R-Truth. I almost forgot about that. R-Truth was... Let me check my notes here. Yeah, Rusev defeated R-Truth in a squash match via submission. I thought that was like a silly-ass spot, because I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. R-Truth is supposed to be in the Intercontinental Championship match at Elimination Chamber. How does he build off of this? What, are you going to balance it out by having him pick up a win or two on Main Event or SmackDown? I mean, even if you were to do it on Main Event, not that many people watch Main Event. Not that many people watch SmackDown. The last burning image is going to be from what people saw of him on Raw. Nobody else was available to do the deed for Rusev. I just did not understand that spot right there. Anybody that can make sense of that, you're more than welcome to comment. But for me, that spot right there made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Let's see if we can get to you guys' comments here. I have to go in the old-fashioned way to see what you guys are saying here. Okay, here we go. I see comments. All right, let's take it from the top here. Austin, hey Austin. Roman Reigns gotta be a pretty... What? Roman Reigns got a pretty big pop in the opening segment. Also, Rusev was begging like Keith Sweat. All my R&B music lovers know what I mean. You crazy. K.A., I have the network. Why is Elimination Chamber USA exclusive? I wish I had the answer for you, my friend. I don't know why WWE's operating like this. You got me, bro. Cody, what's up, Cody? Here's my question tonight. Lee, just as you said, we all know Dean and Renee are dating, but do you feel the same way when it comes to Rusev or Lana? To an extent, yes. But at the same time, I think Rusev and Lana, they've been doing a good job for the most part in not talking about their relationship in interviews. At least as far as I know, there hasn't been any interviews that's been out about them being in a relationship together. And whenever they were seen in public outings, far as the pictures that I can recall seeing, I didn't see any pictures of them holding hands or kissing and any of that other stuff. If it did go down, I don't know anything about it. But I think that answered your question. I hope it did. And let's see. KA, New Day is growing on me. Enjoying them. That's good. Ramon, I am enjoying every minute. Kevin Owens is on the mic, on camera, in the ring. His attitude, he's perfect for WWE. Wrestling fan, was I slowly dying or was Raw that bad? It was a so-so episode tonight. What do you expect, though, man? It's a freaking holiday. You're going to get those throwaway episodes. I honestly was going to take tonight off, but I kind of thought about it a little bit more. And I was like, nah, it would make more sense to do this week because we're taking next week off as we have the Stone Cold podcast returning. That's going to be airing after Raw comes on. I don't want to compete with Stone Cold. And besides, I want to kick back like you guys and watch the Stone Cold podcast. But we will come on live after it goes off the air. And I'll give you guys my thoughts with regards to how that podcast had went. Let's see. Webb says Raw was mediocre as usual. The only highlights for him was the New Day and Kevin Owens attacking Cena. But he feels Elimination Chamber is looking to be a solid pay-per-view. All right, that's good. Armando, do I think Joe will ever be on Raw? Yeah. I think sooner rather than later, honestly. Be perfectly honest with you. And let's see. I got to skim this one question. Or I don't know if it's a comment directed towards somebody. Let me just read this real quick. Ow. I don't even see the person you're talking to. So I got to remove that comment. I don't even see who it was that you're talking about. Let me check here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that was, but anyway. All right, so quick programming note. God, I feel so tired, man. I'm like not into it tonight. I don't know if that was Raw or what, but you know what? I'm going to blame it on the food. That's what it was. I ate too good. What's that thing? Idonitis. I got the sleepies. All right, quick programming note. This Tuesday night, we got the live podcast. You can check that out 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. We'll cover the Elimination Chamber card as it'll stand on that night. I'll give you guys some match predictions on that one. We'll also cover the very latest and headlines and more. We have a special RCWR Show spotlight on which talk show hosts you should make the investment in. If you haven't done so already, now is a very pivotal time right now since David Letterman had retired last week. So we'll talk about that. We'll also put the spotlight on the NXT brand and ask the question if other indie promotions that's out there should be concerned come next year. As you all know, Triple H revealed in a recent conference call that he's looking to have NXT expand tremendously to the point where they're going to be touring at least 3-4 times a week. And makes you wonder if your Dragon Gate, CZW, TNA, Global Force, just what exactly the future might mean for them. We'll go into more details about that one. So join us 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. If you're not going to be able to join us live, make sure you check out the various links in this episode description And you can check us out on various platforms such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Bing, Google search the RCWR Show. And also, I just want to mention before we wrap up this show, I did a really great editorial that was released earlier today. It's on our website. The link is actually down in the comment system. I posted the link earlier as we were getting ready to do this for you guys. I did a great editorial on Sunny, who is making headlines right now because it looks as though she's going to be signing a deal with adult entertainment company Vivid to make a couple of adult films. Great read. Check it out. I've had people private message me and tell me their thoughts with regards to that. Check it out. There is a comment system activated in case you want to comment or whatever. And check that out. All right. So that's going to do it. Please make sure you give this a thumbs up. When you do, you're basically showing your love and appreciation for us YouTube video creators. If you love to just basically troll and you love to just hit the thumbs down button, honestly, it doesn't do me. I sleep good at night, quite honestly. So although I will say, if you don't like somebody's content, why even leave a dislike? Because it's like, I don't know how you all operate, but if I come across something I don't like, I just say, okay, well, this isn't my cup of tea. I don't really like this person. Let me go check out something else. I just won't watch that person's stuff again. I wouldn't keep coming back like a weirdo every single week just to hit the dislike button, because it makes you come off looking like a freaking weirdo, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna do it. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Be safe, be kind to one another. We'll see you next go round. Everybody take care. And if you're curious, Raw tonight, it wasn't passable tonight. I don't feel it was just a throwaway episode. Very rare I say Raw doesn't get a pass. I think it's like the first time this calendar year I've said Raw is not a pass. So mark it down. First time in history, Raw was not a passable show tonight. However, as far as setting up Elimination Chamber, perfect. Be safe, be kind to one another. See you next go round. Everybody, take care.